we've got ourselves another Bronco. And for 20 points in winter, it can be yours too. Because this is the Ford Bronco Raptor. It has 418 brake horsepower, 440 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs a whopping 5,733 pounds with a 2.96 litre engine. Although it does have a cool little feature where if you press in the left stick, you can go ahead and take the roof off because, well, why not? I guess that takes air cooling to a whole new level. So looking at the front of this thing, it does look pretty good indeed and very much high duty or heavy duty or whatever. It's got some over fenders at the side to accommodate some heavy duty tyres and an extra one on the back, which has a pretty cool little place for a rear light as well. Going to the inside, I love the little bit of extra stitching and where it says Bronco. And if we look at the dashboard, you can see this thing is clearly an automatic. But now let's go ahead and take a listen to that Ford 2.96 litre or Ford 3 litre at this point. Say hello to that random person at the corner of the screen. And now let's go ahead and floor it. So here we are now over at the upgrade shop, so let's first jump straight to conversion and to engine swaps. And we've got a few for this thing. We've got a 6.2 litre V8, we've got a 5.8 litre V8 dual supercharged engine, we've got a racing 7.2 litre V8, we've got a racing V6 twin turbo, and on top of that a 7.4 litre V8 twin turbo pushing 1,750 brake horsepower. Oh, and you can make this thing rear wheel drive as well, should you want to, for some reason. Going to aero and appearance, we've got quite a fair few different things for this. We've got a little winch we can add on the front, or a massive winch that we can add on the front. For the back, we can go ahead and take off the wheel, which will save us a few extra pounds, but if we're stuck in the mounty rocky dunes of somewhere, then we're a bit stuffed. As for the side, we've got a couple Ford options. We can take off the doors entirely, because who needs those? And then we can add an extra thing. Oh, never mind, we can remove the side steps as well. And for the front, what can we do at the front? We have a few extra options. We can have a couple extra lights, we can have a light bar, or we can have all of the above. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put on some chunky tyres and make them a little bit bigger at the front and the back. The one thing I'm surprised this thing doesn't have that the other Bronco does have in this game is tyre profile size. You can't change that on here for some reason. A cool thing about that 3 litre engine is it is of course turbocharged, which means we can go ahead and do this. Alright, so here we are now at 5,681 pounds, and this thing has 637 brake horsepower, and it's built up to the top of B class for just a mere 38,450 credits. So here we are now over at the paint shop. We've got nothing in advance sadly, but for manufacturer colours we've got a few. We've got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colours. That one does look pretty good and kind of close to Amparo Blue, a very cool Ford blue from the very early 2000s. Or we can just make it look like an oversized very angry bumblebee. And as ever, we get to wait and wait for it to load. Hooray! Now, while this thing looks like it's just a Bronco that they've taken, extended, and removed the doors out of, because of course we did that to save weight, it does actually seem like a pretty cool vehicle indeed. Remember, this thing is a twin turboed, so hopefully it'll do very well on the challenge we're about to give it. And away we go! We are taking this thing cross country, something we don't usually do when it comes down to car testing, but it just seems perfect for this vehicle. I would call it a car, but half of it's missing, so I guess overly heavy go-kart, maybe? There's a Gladiator, and we have passed the Gladiator and a tiny little pre-war Jeep. Oh, we're about to become a car hat. We're a car hat for a Nissan. And now it is Battle of the Tanks. Never mind, we've beaten the Lamborghini. Now there's a ramp there that I'm very tempted to take each time I see it. And it looks like someone's actually taken it as well. Oh my god, a lot of them have taken it. Okay, the Tank Borghini is back and is very, very angry, but we're going to have to hope that it stays behind us because, well, we want this thing to win. So feel free to go ahead and let me know in the comments, where did my doors go? I'm just kidding. Go ahead and let me know in the comments if you want to see me do more cross-country with vehicles like this, or whether you'd rather me stick to dirt racing. Anyway, the finish line is just here, so across we go, of course, with sideways, a little bit of style, because we kind of have to, because it's kind of what we do here, and a first place as well, with a time of 2 minutes 2. So here we are now back over at the upgrade shop, so we're going to jump straight to conversion engine swap and haul in the almighty 1,750 brake horsepower, because even though it's going to be practically useless because we don't have drag tyres, we're going to make this thing a drag build anyway. So here we are now, this thing weighs 4,648 pounds and it has 1,750 brake horsepower and is just about part way through S1. Now while I doubt we'll get one, we might as well go ahead and perform a little bit of a wheelie check. Yeah, didn't think that would work. Oh look, it's the same text from a couple of videos ago. Anyway, here we are now at the edge of the drag strip. Let's go ahead and get this thing on launch control, and away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with this thing and how quick it really is on the drag strip, considering this thing has a load of power, but is also extremely, extremely heavy. and no drag tyres, which is kind of a shame, but 184 through the camera, and what do we get off the end of here? 202. Okay, not too bad. Now, it's at this point that I'd usually go ahead and put everything on it and say it's ready for the road, but I think all we can really do is just go ahead and put the rear tyre back on. However, before we go any further, here is this week's Forza shop. We've got the Radical RXC, the Mexican traffic light car horn, which sounds a bit like this. Interesting. We've also got the gold leather boots, we've got the Horizon Super Wheel Spin, an Aston Martin V12 Vantage S, and the regular Horizon wheel spin as well. Okay, out to the road. Okay, here we are now over at the edge of the motorway, and away we go. We don't need a countdown for this one because this thing is very, very speedy, and I just want to see how well it does. And out of the speed zone we go at 225.21, and nearly ate a car in the process, but now we've got the downhill and speed cameras to go, and honestly this thing is holding out pretty well so far. Alright, our camera should be here somewhere. That's a traffic car, not a camera. And there's our camera at 226.65, and going downhill we have found another car. Okay, 230, and there is a player car this time, 233. Is that what we're going to get? No, we did get 234 for a split second out of this thing, but that has now since disappeared. Very sad. Anyway, let's go ahead and see next what we can do with this thing. Now, usually, yes, this would involve drifting, and we are going to get to that, but I want to see if this thing can rock crawl, so I brought it to the side of a volcano. Okay, we're making progress. Come on, up the volcano. Up we go. Find some grip, please. No, you're not meant to fall down the volcano, you're meant to drive up it. Can we climb here? Yes, technically. Does that count? I think that counts. Okay, now here's the drifting that I promised we could do, so let's go ahead and throw this thing in here and see how we do. That's a lot of sideways and a bridge. Very sad, but let's go ahead and try and keep going. I don't think this thing was built to drift, so kind of explains that it's all over the place. But 37,915 points going out of that on the first run. Alrighty, here we go, throwing this thing in, going back the other way. Let's go ahead and see what we can do, and hopefully not try and clout the bridge this time, and try and still beat the 37,000, and we did, 38,171 points. And so that's the video on the Ford Bronco Raptor. Honestly, it's quite an interesting vehicle, and I've given it a last chance to redeem itself in rock climbing. There we go, much better. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Sure, that didn't work. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out. See ya. Don't ask how I got a cactus on my car.